Welcome, listeners, to this consecrated inquiry of the biblical text. We approach the scriptures in humility, seeking only to facilitate the voice of the Father and the guidance of the Spirit. You have brought a profound question to the text. You asked, YHWH, is there an original place where you first formed the human being spoken of in Enoch? The lead verse for this draw is found in Numbers chapter 22, verse 4. It says, "Then Moab said to the elders of Midian, 'Now this nation will lick up all that is around us, as the ox licks up the green plants of the field.'" This image of the ox stripping the field bare speaks of consuming displacement. Moab feared losing the place that surrounded him. The key word here is the concept of what encircles the place that holds. The terror of displacement contrasts sharply with the security of the original dwelling, where the human being was first established in perfect peace. Yet your inquiry seeks the original place, the first surrounding, the very ground of formation itself. The text answers by revealing the place that cannot be consumed, the dwelling established before the world was. The draw brings forward three witnesses from the book of Enoch. In Enoch chapter 39, verse 13, the text declares, "And before him there is no ceasing. He knows before the world was created what is for the ages and what will be from covenant generation unto generation." This establishes that the formation of this human being occurred in the foreknowledge of the Father prior to the foundation of the cosmos. Enoch then poses the very question of location in Enoch chapter 38, verse 2, asking, "Where then will be the dwelling of the sinners, and where the resting place of those who have denied YHWH of spirits?" This assumes the dwelling of the righteous exists. The structure of his vision is architectural, assuming the dwelling of the righteous exists in light. The Father points directly to the high place, the very throne where the Holy and Great One sits in eternal glory. And in Enoch chapter 83, verse 9, the prophet testifies, "And I recounted to him the whole vision which I had seen." Enoch received this vision in his original state, and his act of recounting is a testimony that the original place is not theoretical, but witnessed and established. Isaiah chapter 33, verse 5 declares, "YHWH is exalted, because he lives in the high place. He has filled Zion with judgment and covenant faithfulness." This high place is the original locus of formation. The text maps this original geography with precision. Psalms chapter 93, verse 2 proclaims, "Established is your throne since then, from age past times. You are." The original place is not merely spatially above, it is temporally before. It precedes the world, the day, and the ages. The prophet Ezekiel was brought to the gate that looks toward the east, as recorded in Ezekiel chapter 43, verse 1, pointing back to the garden planted eastward. The covenant people come before YHWH in the appointed place, as stated in Ezekiel chapter 46, verse 9. This is the designated location where the priestly tabernacle stands, as we read in Numbers chapter 8, verse 19, where the Levites serve at the appointed place. At this original forming place, we find the spring of waters. In 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 21, the prophet went out to the spring of the waters and said, "This is what YHWH declares. I have healed these waters. There will not be from there any more death or barren land." Where the spring is, there is no barrenness. The human condition apart from YHWH is like the sterile woman in Judges chapter 13, verse 2, who could not generate. But at this original spring, YHWH overcomes sterility and heals the waters. The original place is a stronghold, defended and set apart, much like the shields of beaten gold made by Solomon. The veil that once separated the holy place has been torn, and the original place is now opened. The formation narrative embedded in this draw reveals how the human being was formed in this original place. Things were produced before the day, as Isaiah chapter 48, verse 7 testifies. "From one as good as dead, YHWH brings forth a multitude," as Hebrews chapter 11, verse 12 declares, "sprang there even from one, and him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky. The original formation overcomes death itself. This first issuing forth is the consecrated firstborn of the womb, set apart to YHWH, as commanded in Exodus chapter 13, verses 11 and 12. The firstborn is formed as a priest at the appointed place. Aaron and his sons did all things that YHWH commanded by the hand of Moses, as recorded in Leviticus chapter 8, verse 36. This is a priestly formation, separated from other people, as YHWH declared in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 24. The sacred spirit serves as the pledge of this covenant inheritance, sealing the purchased possession, as we read in Ephesians chapter 1, verses 13 and 14. Simeon came by the Spirit into the sacred place and saw the salvation that YHWH had prepared before the presence of all the people, as testified in Luke chapter 2, verses 27 through 31. The preparation was in the original place before all peoples. The way of man from this original place has become crooked and burdened with guilt, as Proverbs chapter 21, verse 8 reminds us. But as for the pure, whose work is right, they walk the straight path back to the original dwelling. The mathematical verdict confirms this textual revelation with absolute clarity. The inquiry answer is an affirmative yes, with a probability of 99.6%. The claim classification is a strong anomaly, meaning all gates pass. The triple convergence standard of identity, inheritance, and priesthood fires at 6.61 sigma, a discovery-level convergence. The polarity is decisively affirmative, indicating covenantal favor. The guided draw E-value registers as an extreme anomaly, departing from random chance at a level that defies ordinary explanation. The convergence index crosses the threshold with all channels active, providing a multi-channel confirmation. The Father is speaking to the full architecture of covenantal standing. The original place is not merely a location, but a place of identity, a place of inheritance, and a place of priestly standing before YHWH. YHWH devises means that his banished are not expelled from him, as 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 14 reminds us. The original place is the place of return. Even under strict correction for the false discovery rate, multiple independent markers pass, proving the signal is robust. Furthermore, the prayer intention keywords saturate the draw at a far above chance rate, drenching the surface text in the vocabulary of place, dwelling, and consecrated. So we return to your question. Is there an original place where the Father first formed the human being spoken of in Enoch? The text and the numbers answer with a resounding yes. There is a high place, a throne established from age past times, an appointed place with a healed spring of waters, and a sacred place entered by the Spirit. The human being was formed there in the presence of YHWH before the world was created. The dwelling place is established, the waters are healed, and the banished are brought home. We offer this interpretation in humility, subject to the text and the Spirit of the Father. The workstation facilitates the inquiry, but it does not speak in place of the Spirit. May you see this human being not as a product of the confusion and void, but as one formed in the high place of his glory, sealed for an inheritance that cannot be shaken. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.12 session were Numbers chapter 22, verse 4, 2 Chronicles chapter 22, verse 9, Genesis chapter 36, verse 5, Leviticus chapter 8, verse 36, Joshua chapter 3, verse 6, Judges chapter 13, verse 2. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield Protocol.